Welcome to the podcast that shimmers in your soul. It's the roguesun podcast. Thanks for joining us as we watch events unfold from the Sunstone. I'm joined as always by the panel that can handle it all, Bash, Ali, and Charlie. How's it going, guys?
Good to be here, ready to talk fiery excellence as always. It's another issue with big legacy implications, just big legacy expansions. I can't wait to get into it.
Yep, great issue. Great issue as always. Super excited to get into it. Roguesun has not disappointed so far. What about you, Charlie?
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Barbenheimer. Just got my second viewing of Oppenheimer in. We got this crazy San Diego Comic-Con stuff going on, all this crazy news, and then we got some massive verse books back this week. So yeah, I'm super happy we had that little hiatus, but really banger of an issue to get back into it. So I can't wait. How are you doing, Matt?
Good. I mean, this issue was awesome. Like, I never know what to expect with the massive verse books. Right? We don't know what Radiant Black is still 24 issues in, but like Rogue Sun, we're building legacies, and I didn't expect characters shown off at SDCC to be shown off already, and I assume we'll be seeing more of them in the following issue. So yeah, 14. Let's get into it.
Hell yeah.
So the description is trapped in the last place he ever expected to be and cut off from his friends and family. Dylan struggles towards freedom with help from an unlikely source, and Caleb makes his first step towards a surprising goal. Luana Vecchio continues her incredible streak of covers with cover A, and we get the cover B virgin covers of connecting villain variants, that theme, and we get an incredible Billy Blood Moon, and appropriately so because of the content in this issue. And I like that. Billy Blood Moon covered by, I believe it's Alex Moore, and we gave him a shout out on Twitter. He was very gracious about it. He also showed his process on how he made it the cover. Awesome stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I love that cover. And the Blood Moons were definitely in this issue. This isn't, you're seeing a cover of something that's totally unrelated. The Blood Moons, we got like names. We got multiple Blood Moons, a lot of new appearces, at least like 3 new appearances, I think.
Yeah,
so
this issue was busy for sure, and I personally like that Blood Moon cover, amazing. The cover A though, I just love, like, definitely one of my top 3 covers. I think, like, just the design. First of all, of Caleb's armor is just badass, but just seeing Dylan and Marcus here trapped in the power in the Sunstone that he's using, kind of just really giving a good hint at what this issue is all about, and it's just really good. Yeah, look at that Blood Moon cover though. That's incredible.
It's just awesome. I like that they have wings. It really makes them stand out. It's like they're the werewolves with wings, and they're vampires and werewolves at the same time. So like Kate Beckinsale would have her hands full with these guys for sure. But like, no, I love it. And what they've been doing with Caleb, I think, has been really strong too. Like this is where I really felt a connection to Caleb, where I started to understand, like, whoa, he's trying to, break the cycle to borrow from a Higgins property, right? Like, he seems like he's been dealing with this, and I feel like we've really added that element to his character. I'm like, I can totally see his motivation now.
Yeah.
I just want to add to, we've been joking that the first 12 issues of Roguesun, we've been having almost a new villain almost every issue, and we kind of got new villains here, but we also got heroes.
Yeah.
So
a lot of gray area characters here. A lot of gray, which I love. Like, this book's been super good about this. Like, yeah, we got our rogues gallery, but just so many kind of, like, even Brock and Ari at the start, like, just so many weird and kind of suspect things going on. But yeah, just love all these characters, and introduction of one of the coolest looking characters
and more Marcus.
in the massive verse. Not even in this book, but this first character that gets introduced here, is insane.
Yeah, and we also haven't seen Marcus in several issues, so we saw him at the end of last issue. So that dynamic is like a lot of like the core of this book. So to see that, and I'm loving what they're doing it. Like, not to mention Invincible 8 billion times, but seeing them in there reminded me of seeing Mark and Omni-Man like on the planet, and like, talking about stuff. It was cool.
Yeah. Big introduction in the second page. Like, wasn't expecting it, but Rungenalt makes big fiery introduction, huge character. I love the sense of scale you get when you see him on the page. He takes up most of the page. He really comes off as huge, and he's this chieftain. You know what I mean? He's this like bloodthirsty chieftain, so he's pretty rabid. I just really like the overall presentation. Really cool way to throwing a little character in here. And if you see a few copies of this book suddenly fly off the shelf, it's because I'm stocking up my
Yeah. Yeah, we need a variant with this dude. And
100%.
if the listeners don't know who we're talking about, right now, obviously we're talking about the new Viking Rogue Sun, pretty much.
Rune Ganulf.
Yeah, Rune Ganulf. What a name. Love it. And love the intro. Obviously, right away, like Dylan, right when he sees Marcus, he's just gone. He just wants to be anywhere else. So
there's not much.
Yeah, they just walk away, and then this dude just kind of appears, and yeah, great.
And then that panel, like it's like a flame beard almost, or like there's no real like part from his chest separating his head there, so it's like just pure rage and energy just burning. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I like his little like tabard / robe. I love his cape. Honestly, and his like hair, his beads, just very cool design. And so in the next page we shift back to the Bell estate, and this time we realize that we're in more of a we're seeing the Julie and Ori exchange. She's finally getting redemption in the sense that she's being allowed back into the house. I like that. Well, first we're introduced to Mama Bell. I'm assuming, right? Astrid, is that her name or something like that?
Trudy.
Yeah. So Trudy is pretty badass in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Dylan's grandma.
She's mean. Oh yeah, she's sick.
She's been through it though. So much was revealed in this page here. It didn't feel like exposition either. It just felt like a tete-a-tete between the in-laws, right? Like a little fun introduction. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. Just her talking about Marcus saving the world and how people should be like his funeral should have been a big deal. It kind of made me think of like Superman's funeral in a way, but it's like everyone loves Superman.
You get where he gets a sense of entitlement from her, right? And you can kind of see her going like, you totally deserve. You should take some things. You save those people. You should be able to be rich, dude. Like you can totally feel like you're going like, no, you earned that.
Yeah, you get to see like where the legacy it runs deep, and where Marcus gets some of his qualities from. She said she didn't want to go to the stage play of mourning and humility that was the funeral because she had laundry to do.
Yeah, he deserved a parade through the city and the president himself kissing on the ground. This girl definitely wants what's best for her son. But yeah, you can just tell how like she's just got thick skin, and you can tell I think through this issue for sure that Marcus's dad was even more of a dick possibly than he was. So yeah, who knows what Trudy's been through.
Yeah,
it's interesting because like she's almost like you could say a more experienced version of Julie, which is why she's giving her all this advice. And she's kind of like, would you say jaded because she spent her whole life basically looking after rogue sons, whether it's her husband or her kid. It's kind of weird, like to be doing that now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think at this point she's maybe accepted it or something, but I'm not too sure. I'm curious kind of where the relationship's gonna go with Dylan and Trudy. That's really going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be a cool dynamic.
Yeah, to me, I get the vibe that she expects more. Like Rogue Sun should be celebrated more. Like he just got that small funeral. Like people should know who Marcus was, what he did, and like all of. I feel like she feels like there should be more. And it is a good point that you made, Bash, about this could be Juliet's future. This is basically the life when you're going to be married to Rogue Sun. There's a lot of stuff you have to deal with, and the way like there was a lot of information construed in this like expertly in my opinion by Ryan Parrott, and the foreshadowing of the father who, spoiler alert, won't be the last we see of him. So she's also had to deal with an even worse guy than Marcus, who's more of an asshole. So these are like the generations of trauma and stuff like that. And we've had the father-son story. Now we're expanding, we're bringing in the grandfathers, and the grandfathers often are not more progressive or more accepting of the world. So I do like the lineage that was displayed in this.
I mean, the trauma had to start somewhere, right? And maybe by the end of this run, we'll see where it all started from. But it's a little different with the funeral too, because like Marcus might be dead, but to the general public, Rogue Sun is still alive, right? They don't know that it's a new person in there. They just think, oh, he's still flying around.
Good point.
I'm sure if Rogue Sun actually passed away, like to the public, they would recognize. Like, these people in New Orleans, they recognize him. They appreciate what he does for them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I do like this interaction at the bar because I think it reveals to us both the kind of individual Caleb is and the kind of individual he's morphing into in his little attempt at
Who gives
just
a
whatever.
freebie to a minor at the bar? You're a
I
minor
know
today. That's
for
a
real.
freebie.
He's at the mercy of being burnt. So
It's true, but he didn't know about bars. Like, look, kid, you wanted in here. I gave you a free shot, but like, let's not get ridiculous. Like,
Not even with a fake ID, nothing. Just
yeah,
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 no,
that's
but
true.
this was nice. Like the alcohol changed much and stuff like that, and like, oh yeah, they actually make it like somewhat drinkable now and stuff like that. And this is a scene where I really was like that poor guy Caleb. Like he saw these generations, right? Like he thought he would get some kind of recognition or something, and he saw that he didn't. Like he watched everyone fail. He watched the cycle repeat endlessly. So of course he's going to want to make some changes once he finally has some agency.
kind of mirrors what Trudy was talking about, right? She wants recognition for Marcus, and he was hoping to be recognized for all those years ago.
True.
Yeah, I guess one of the things about the Rogue Sun legacy, at least so far that we've seen with the more recent Rogue Suns, is that their legacy isn't really celebrated. Like with Marcus, it's not celebrated. With Caleb, it's not celebrated, and that's something that is reflected poorly throughout their continuations. You know, Marcus through his mother and her lack of acceptance of the funeral, and how, in her view, it was terrible. And then in Caleb, and how like people just he had no legacy basically. That nothing was came of his time as Rogue Sun in terms of respect or reverence and that took a toll on him. And he says something I think that's important here. He says it's time for a change in direction. He says that verbatim. So, and I find it funny that he says alcohol improved in the last like 700 years. Like fun little poke.
That's a lad for Jim Beam.
Yeah, this little exchange though, like this is a big issue for Ori in my opinion, and this little exchange
Massive
between her
Ori issue.
between her and there's a little irony, right? Because she's telling body snatched Dylan that he needs a mentor. And the irony is that he's explored that avenue, right? And it's led to this. So
And this is the drunk mentor she's talking to and doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
And excellent job with Becca Carey for the drunk text. Not too over the top, but like it looked enough that you can see just kind of stumbling. And also, this is one of the most coherent drunks I've ever read dialogue from or heard from too. Like he's smart, still playing, but he makes one slip up, which is key. Where he says that what was it? It was about the body.
This body
body-
can't hold the
can't
liquor.
hold liquor, but it don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
And
And
that's,
it was shh, like he's like
that was
hammer,
great.
yeah,
That was
genius.
great.
And you know that this, we're planting seeds, and Ori's probably going to help because she knows magic, and she wants to save not just her dad but also her brother, right? So this is a way to at least get one of them back.
Yeah, definitely what that side eye is saying on that bottom page there. Great emotion there as always. And
Yeah, I love the handling of this, and this is how we meet Trudy because that's where Ori was staying this whole time was with Trudy, who, I'm sure is going to make her a much more loving and open-minded and caring individual.
they have a great relationship. You can tell like you can tell Trudy spoils Ari for sure.
Yeah, but she could also be providing like these narrow views and like, oh, this is the way it should be.
100%.
Right?
She could do that, but also still be spoiling.
Oh, she's definitely spoiling.
I like the development in this issue between. Well, there's a lot happening. Like you guys said, there's development between Marcus and Dylan, but there's also lore about the Sunstone being revealed, and that's where we get this important line where Marcus says to Dylan, "The Sunstone is a complex matrix of time fragments, each holding the spirit of a former rogue son. I'm still learning to navigate them, but if you have any brilliant insights, I'm happy to hear it." And that's why Dylan asked him, why is the Viking chasing them? And then we get more reveals into Caleb's character, but also his plans prior to enacting them. And I think this part's particularly interesting because Marcus says, Rune Gnolf is a rogue son from the Middle Ages. He was a chieftain and a bloodthirsty one at that, but he wasn't trying to kill you. If you die, Caleb loses control of your body, so he made a deal with some of the oldest rogue sons. In exchange for locking you up in here, he promised to let them out. I find that very interesting, almost kind of like an Arkham, situation, which we've talked about before. So it's like, damn, man, Caleb's like making a lot of enemies, you know what I mean? Like in a way, but he's also trying to forge, in the moment alliances. But this is a very, I don't know, hectic plan. It's almost like it's very like scrapped together. I wonder how it's gonna all blow up in Caleb's face, or whether
he's offering a lot of people their freedom, right? Because even Billy Bloodmoon's about to get jailbroken, so a lot of prisons are about to be open, not just the Sunstone. Also, it was called the Soul Stone. Is that the first time it's been called the Soul Stone? Soul referring to sun as well, like the ancient term.
Yeah.
So
That was kind of interesting because Saul is what, like, is that, what is that,
I don't know if it's
Spanish?
Latin. I'm not.
I
Some
believe
kind
it's
of Latin
Spanish.
origin.
I believe it's Spanish, is it not? The word for Saul is Spanish, but I don't know.
Better call Soulstone.
Better call
no, but
Soulstone. But yeah,
no.
that was interesting for sure. I was curious about that one too. I wasn't sure if it was a language thing or yeah.
I'm wondering about if they come out, right, like the older Rogue Sons, are they just gonna be out in their own bodies? Are they gonna have to take someone else's body? Are they gonna have their Rogue Sun powers with only one Sunstone that Caleb has?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
I think Caleb's definitely making a promise he can't fully
Right.
fulfill.
Yeah.
Or
How many blood moons are there? Maybe they're going to use blood moon bodies as the host bodies for this, and we get werewolves with rogue sun powers.
Oh,
no, but it's true. But also, like, just because he lets them out too, they'll take a body, but there's only one Sunstone, correct?
True.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
There is only one Sunstone, so yeah, they can be let out in a random body. Like, yeah, I think he's like, oh yeah, well, just for you guys, you'll have all your power, and yeah, you can just kind of go ham on Earth and take whatever you want. But yeah, it's
He's
definitely
playing them.
yeah, he's
Maybe-
he's going with them.
Maybe Morningstar can actually. What was that?
So I was just gonna say, like, kind of, I love that Dylan is like very suspicious to the point where he literally like calls his own dad out and he says, "You're gonna trade me to Caleb,
Yeah.
aren't you?" I was like, Jesus Christ! But that, he's a teenager, like emotions
That's true,
are running
yeah.
wild, right? I
And this
expect that
guy
kind
just
of-
has no faith in his dad. Like, he just
Yeah.
think like he's always hating on his dad too.
And yeah, Marcus wouldn't trade his son for that. Like Marcus
Yeah,
wouldn't.
no,
I feel like
yeah.
he's accepted his fate. You know what I mean? Like he tries to intervene, but he's said, "No, I'm dead." Like I don't feel like he wants to come back. That's what Caleb would do. That's what separates the two. It's like Marcus is a dick, but he's not gonna like overstep. He might steal, but he's not gonna screw over
I
his
think
blood.
you get his
Yeah.
best moment in the series in the next page where he tells him like, "Okay, so you've been watching me, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's not beat around the bush." And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Okay, so you saw what happened at the dance with the Reggie." And I think there, even though Dylan's reluctant to accept it in the moment, I think he gives him some advice and some consolation there on the situation, which I think, even though in the moment he's reluctant to accept it, I think it will sit with Dylan and it will lead to some sort of development for him in the long run, because I think he needed to hear that. And I think hearing it from someone as critical as Marcus is important, because even though they don't share the bond, they share the bond of the Sunstone, which is they are both rogue sons, or he
Yeah.
was a rogue son and now he's a rogue son. So there is that rogue bond, the rogue son bond. And I like that he gives him that experience, you could say, from his own wisdom. I really like that.
Sometimes fathers and sons need an activity to bond over, and maybe
Yes,
that's been the
yeah.
superhero. Like, this
Yeah,
is
no,
their-
I think definitely that relationship is going to stem from there. That's kind of the only thing they can really talk about right now without screaming at each other. It seems like. So yeah, I think it might just build some trust from Dylan to Marcus, and yeah, hopefully that leads to something bigger, a better relationship, or I'm not sure. Maybe Marcus could be trapped in here when it's all said and done, and Dylan's the only one that's been let out.
Well,
so yeah, who knows? And
the
I
forecast is
think
calling for a firestorm.
Oh,
Like, this
I
this,
just
this,
got it.
flame, this flame jumping though,
That
I
would
like
be
it.
something.
Yeah. Like they're flame jumping because they don't have the power,
Yeah.
conventionally speaking. I like that traveling. I like that there's this really subtle moment where right after they flame jump, like Dylan's kind of concerned for his father and being alone, where he's like, Marcus, he still calls him Marcus, which I find funny. He's like, "Hey Marcus, where the hell are you?" And then he says, "I'm over here." And he says, "Any chance we're in the right place this time? Because I'm getting sick on flame jumping." And then you see someone reply and says, "It depends. What kind of trouble are you boys looking for?" And that's where you meet Papa Bell for the first time.
Yeah.
I love the reaction just by Dylan, like, holy shit, because that's the reader's reaction too. Let's be real, oh, like, holy shit at that moment. I love the designs. I love that there's a element of consistency within the design, which is the rogue armor, but I love how the armor shifts depending on the content and the context, right? Different times call for different aesthetics, call for different sensibilities, and I really like how that's reflected. Yeah,
It's got a
well,
gun.
So
Which is-
like Juliet and Trudy now, how we kind of have that old and younger now. Now we have Marcus's dad, and Marcus kind of like. Do you think Marcus is gonna end up in the in the same boat. Like I feel like Marcus has he already been through all of this? Like has he fought with his dad, got stuck in the Sunstone? Has he met his dad in the Sunstone and kind of learned this thing? Like to me, it seems like Marcus, this stuff he's teaching Dylan right now, and Dylan's going through. Marcus has already been through all of this,
or
stuff.
something similar, like a remix of these events is possible. But they're not close either, so they definitely didn't have any bonding experience.
When it says "Hey, Dad, long time," like that didn't make me seem like, oh, like the last time I saw you, you were alive. Like, oh yeah, like he didn't seem too surprised.
I think it was a lot similar to the beginning of Rogue Sun, like the first few issues where Marcus was kind of like guiding him from the Sunstone. I think that's how it was, but I don't know if he got his body stolen and all that kind of stuff.
Also, like he's been trapped there the whole time and never reached out to his dad. You know what I mean? Like trapped in eternal hell.
You're right.
Never reached out to the one person who birthed you.
Yeah.
So they're definitely not close. Also,
definitely.
when we're talking about body switching, not to jump the lead to where this ends, I feel like Morningstar might have the power to craft sunstones or like maybe something to give you the body power. That could be something.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
That's true.
Did you guys like? I love this new. Like this, so much happened in this issue, but it was so well paced because Ryan Parrott and Abel and everyone on the team, they're so good. Of course, shout out again to, we forgot to mention the creative team, but we got Ryan Parrott, co-creator and writer of Roguesun, Abel, co-creator and artist of Roguesun and this issue, Natalia Marquez doing the colors, and she's amazing. She's been one of the mainstays of Roguesun as a colorist, and she always does such a good job depicting the grittiness of Roguesun compared to Radiant Black's cosmicness. And then we've got Becca Carey doing letters, of course, and I think that's the team, right? Yep, that's everyone.
Becca had a lot to do with the Blood Moon text and the drum text, like a lot of lettering.
The opening page, when they're off panel, but they're walking towards you, but the speech bubbles are like connecting to where they are off panel. I really like that. It's subtle, but it's nice. Yeah, I like this scene from when we go to I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, Louisiana. And we get to meet the rest of the Blood Moon family. They've captured some dude. They're trying to interrogate him and probably like eat him to find out who he gave information to. I just love that they're looking for Billy specifically, but then Roguesun just shows up like, here you go, here's Billy.
Yeah, and we cut the bullshit because we want that nice little ending panel, right? Of like, we're not going to go show. It's like, no, here's Billy, and boom, and now we're talking to Morningstar. So yeah, Morningstar has come out to play, appeared 2 times now in 3 issues, so we're definitely speeding it up and ramping up to Morningstar being a big deal. And it seems like, we're definitely going to have, these 2 characters interact. Like, this could be Dylan's first time seeing Morningstar if he can look through the Sunstone right now, if he wasn't running from Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, the 2 Rogue Sons we saw are definitely showing up like next issue. The Rogue Sons they teased as hunting them down will definitely be the Egyptian and the Native American Rogue Sun. I'm pretty sure, right?
Okay.
There's gonna be a mess. I just want to like that Spider-Verse scene like in the HQ with like thousands of Spider-Man. I just want to see that with the Rogue Sons, just thousands of these guys chasing them. I don't know how many we'll see, but like all the designs we've got, I don't think he's gonna go too overboard because all these designs have been so distinct and so spot on, and so I don't know if he wants to do that. But yeah, I'm here for it.
I think the part that stuck out to me the most these last few pages is where he says to the creature that first gave the Blood Moon clan its power all those years ago. So I really wonder how old is their clan? Like, are we talking centuries, decades? Like,
I feel like, do you think just as old as the Sunstone itself?
I would think pretty close.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
I'm most worried about the lineage and how much they care about blood with those blood moons. I don't know how close those siblings are is my biggest fear. But yeah, I do like that Morningstar is ancient, and Morningstar is the reason for even the Rogues Gallery is already getting more fleshed out. Like, these guys that might not seem like a big deal were actually started by the big bad like longer than we've ever gone back. So I think that's a nice touch as well. I'm glad you highlighted that.
I really like that a lot. It was really cool. And I love in the last page how we're no longer beating around the bush. We set it up and now we're finally here. Roguesun 1-to-1 communicating with Morningstar. So I'm hoping similar to how Radiant Black 25 with the intro to Catalyst 4 gave us a lot of lore and answers about Radiant Black that we've been wondering. I think we're going to continue to get some answers about these powers, the Sunstone, and just this corner of the Massiverse in the next issue. So I'm really excited. Morningstar I've been teasing for a while, and I really can't wait. This was such a good issue. There's so much happening. There was so much to be excited about in this issue, and then there's also so much to look forward to. I'm really like Clyde and Stella. They look, they just seem hilarious. Like the Vittorio clan or whatever they're calling it. Always looking forward to more of the Blood Moons. We joked about that in the previous episodes, so getting them here is nice. But just seeing, it's like you really get to feel the impact of the last page because you finally see that color. One of the most important things is the Massiverse is color, and the roguesun villains really embody, differences in color because they all have unique colors, unique powers. And it's like when you finally see that like green explosion, you're just like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like it's here, like this is it, So
I got to mention this in the Discord. We're talking about the card game in the Discord, and people are trying to fish out like roguesun lore from the card game builders. Like, oh, is the Cataclysm going to have the powers from, because Morningstar getting the powers? I'm like, these guys are just trying to make a card game with like 5 different properties. But no, it's hilarious, and that's the part of the fun of the Discord and stuff, and seeing these interactions. But yeah, the green can represent a lot of things like envy and greed, right? And Morningstar was kind of like devouring it all, and Morningstar, I can't wait for more Morningstar. We've just got tastes, and it's already been sweet. Like, the Rogues Gallery is really strong. There's so many more characters I want to see from. Like,
it's like, bro, the villain of roguesun and like Radiant Black are both like green machines.
Entropy is kind of green.
So it's like all these green motherfuckers. It's like the new. It's gonna be like the green team is gonna be the new the villains, the big Legion of Doom for like.
That's why like the power kind of changes it up because like the fire characters and the red characters like Inferno Red, Radiant Red are all kind of like the good guys. So it's even firepower with other image properties. So it's nice to see the fire guy actually. Interesting to see the fire person being the antagonist. So yeah,
until Pyre, of course, and then they have to give one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did have one last question, just about kind of the Sunstone itself and just traversing it. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Is like we see them grab hands, and I kind of took that as like it being a random thing, like they don't know where they're going, so they have to be linked together, so they stay together wherever they travel. Do you think it was an intentional thing, like going to Marcus's dad? Like, do they know where they're going, or is this a random thing? They just so happen to run into him. Like, what do you guys think?
Maybe their power together lets them transport further. Or it's hard to control when it's the two of them. Like, it could be like Pink didn't have control over portals for a while. Sometimes, like, there could be, there's development of that. So it could be the two of them connecting, and maybe the stronger their bond is, and the more they communicate, they'll be able to actually go to precise locations.
Okay, I like that.
And he said. Marcus said, I kind of agree with you because Marcus said, he's still trying to learn how to navigate it. So I just think that he's combining like his power with
I like that.
Like existence too. You had to you needed guides and stuff like that. And you need like a whole other like means of traversing. And the time is all messed up. They said direction is just an idea or something along those lines, right? So it's a whole different world, and you're losing powers, you're gaining powers. Look at that cover. God damn.
Love it.
Yeah, Roguesun 15, the next issue, August 23rd. Make sure you order it. Dylan risks everything for a chance to return home as Caleb makes a decision that threatens to change the fate of New Orleans and the world forever. Things are getting massive. Got the cover here, the gorgeous A cover by, I don't think that's Luana Vecchio. I think that's actually Abel, but it says Luana Vecchio.
I just thought of the Black Knight theming too, right? Like like the Black Knight in fiction and medieval, how he's kind of like the evil guy, but he's not, right? It's kind of like turning it, going rogue, and like being good, even and fighting for justice. Like, not to interrupt, but. And even like the lighter colors, right? It almost looks like biblical and stuff like that, like come to me, but it's like, it's I really like what they're doing.
Oh yeah, very cool, very mystic, almost very So I'm very excited.
Switch up of the colors too. Like I think the last any green we had in a color, I think the last time was issue 5 was the only other time we had a hint of green in the color. Right? Yeah, it was Cataclysm versus Dylan, but like it's been a lot of oranges and pinks.
That cover B is awesome. Always nice to see Time Falcon.
Time Falcon.
That's great.
aka Ornate.
When is that? What's that guy's name? The Leviathan. Lord Viathan. Yeah. When's that cover?
So here's the 16, the zombies, which we pointed out was.
And we're getting a Walking Dead cover. What issue's the Walking Dead cover? Because it'd be amazing if the cover B was for that.
Right here. You can see the zombies right here on the bottom where our cameras are. So there's the zombies from roguesun 16. Yeah, there's the zombies from roguesun 16. Where'd my screen scare? Yeah, there we go. There you go. So, and then, that's the the cover B with Lord Vythin. Incredible by Carly AF.
The water.
Yeah.
God.
Carly's
Yeah.
so good. Like Carly's like
That's
such
insane.
a good
Yeah,
artist.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's something that's going on my wall for sure.
Oh yeah.
No, that's
Like,
awesome.
I love all the colors there too. If you look closely, there's a lot of like subtle colors. It's gorgeous, like a pink, orange, purple into greenish. It's violet and light blue. It's just such a gorgeous cover.
Lord
So shout
Byron.
out to roguesun people. And then I think they showed 17. Yeah, there you go. Here's the 17 cover.
Damn.
Another Lana Vecchio cover. I think that looks like Lana Vecchio for sure. And then that cover by
Wow.
Betta Vecchia with art by Jonathan Marks. That's what it says.
That's
least.
different. I love
Who's
it.
this supposed to
Demonica.
be?
I
said
love
that-
it.
is that-
Demonica?
Demonica.
Demonica, yeah.
One of my
Gorgeous cover.
faves. Gonna have to support
You
could,
on that
like-
one as well.
And of course,
God
Yeah,
damn,
Michonne. Yeah. So yep,
specifically
there you go.
requested. If you want us to
Yep.
hear us talk about the Walking Dead covers more, we talked about it on our STCC coverage on the
Yeah.
Radiant Black podcast. But yeah, it's amazing that we get a Michonne cover and any Walking Dead tie-ins.
So there you go, guys. Lots of roguesun to look forward to. Of course, we're going to be doing giveaways and stuff. And the last thing I want to highlight for roguesun real quick is obviously we have a roguesun podcast where we talk everything roguesun. Obviously, this is the podcast, but we also have a YouTube channel, right? So if you want to follow us on YouTube, where we do community events and things like, we recently did the roguesun trivia, which is already at 90 views, surprisingly. It was so much fun. We got a lot of positive feedback on it, so clearly we'll do
Yeah,
more
that's fun.
exciting things in the future. Yeah, so we'll do more. We
We had a lot
love
of cool
putting
giveaways
together
too.
events.
You know.
Yeah. So, subscribe to us. Throw us a shout if you want to be part of the show. We're always having guests on, especially for the roguesun podcast, because
What did you think of the issue?
Yeah,
Let us know below. Tweet at us. We're always excited to talk about Massiverse and hear your theories and think of things that wouldn't have come up otherwise.
Yeah.
and that's it. Thank you so
know.
much, everyone. Hey, you guys want to add anything?
I was just gonna say real quick, kind of just for the viewers, but it does tease Catalyst War in the back of Rogue Sun, in the back matter. So makes me question maybe that connecting cover we're gonna see all that stuff come to Earth, and it might be hitting where Dylan's at. Fingers crossed. So we'll see.
That's a good
So
something to
there's-
earmark.
Yeah, there's one thing I actually wanted to highlight, and I'm sorry it's a little bit late, but I really want to highlight this because I'm
It's
so
never
proud
late.
Of,
It's never
I'm
late.
so proud of Ryan. It's never too late.
It's never late.
Harley Quinn, Black, White, Red, or number
Yes.
2. First of all, you've got an incredible cover by Chris Somney, and we love Chris Somney on this podcast. We literally gushed about
Great.
5 hours earlier. Beautiful cover. And let me
Go read
read you
issue
what it
25.
says.
Go read issue 25.
Oh yeah, go read 5 hours. Just in general.
Yes.
In this issue, Kelly Thompson makes her DC debut. I love Kelly Thompson. Collaborating with superstar Annie Wu on a tale of Harley's attempts to escape her own origin story with some begrudging magical help from Zatanna. Fan favorites Rose Stein and Ted Brandt throw Harley and her legion of Doominols into the high-stakes Gotham Pet Show to go paw-to-paw with the beloved League of Super Pets. Oh my god, I can't wait for that. And Rogue Sun writer Ryan Parrott joins
That's
with Russ
ridiculous. I
Manning
love it.
Award winner Lana Vecchio. So Ryan Parrott and Lana Vecchio, or is it Luana? I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
I think I'd say Luana if I had to guess.
Yeah. Luana Vecchio to serve up a story of Jim Gordon and Harley sharing a diner booth. But what brought these 2 years more complicated than you'd think?
I'm already.
Guys, I can't wait for this issue.
That's
You got three creators from doing 3 different stories. I love these creators. I can't wait. But I'm really excited for Ryan Parrott's DC debut. I believe this is it.
Yes.
Harley Quinn, man, that's huge.
And
I love
Congratulations.
I mentioned it on the Firepower podcast, I believe. But go check out the Flash. Igor was on there.
Night
so,
Terror's Flash.
Yeah,
Night
Night
Terror.
Terror Flash. Go check that out. That was great stuff.
So
I love the black and white books. I'm hoping one day Kyle Higgins gets to do like a Green Lantern, blue and black.
Well, no, do Nightwing black, blue, and white. Like that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
How he pretty much did like very simplistic Green Lantern with not
That
like
would- that'd be
yeah,
Black, blue, and white. That'd be cool. That would be cool though. Black, blue, and white.
These are just in general, I think is a really cool idea to express like color theory and focus on things that you normally wouldn't. And that story about in the booth, like I'm already in. Plus the super pets. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't miss it.
Can't
It's
miss it.
amazing.
Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for checking out today. make sure you check out Rogue Sun and all the awesome books we mentioned on this episode, but obviously in particular Rogue Sun. It's so good. Everyone who's recently checked it out because of other Massiveverse books they were reading has given us such positive feedback. It makes me happy. I'm sure it makes Ryan happy. And stay tuned for giveaways.
Buy the individual issues if you can. Definitely.
That's the best way to support. If you guys want to support these creators and keep these titles going, the best way to do it is to have these titles on your pull list. Ordering the trade paperbacks is good too, but trust me, after speaking with the market, speaking with comic book stores, speaking with the creators themselves, the best way to keep this title going is to have this title on your pull list. Make sure you do that. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time. Go Rogue.